Pam Masters, and I'm a collaborative family lawyer, which is to say that I'm a settlement specialist, and I guide couples and families on the difficult journey of divorce without court involvement. I do this in ways that protect children, preserve financial assets, and create healthy co-parenting relationships. Knowing how to tell your spouse you want a divorce is important, but knowing when to give the news is also important and can make the difference between an adversarial divorce or a respectful one. Timing is almost everything. How to know when you're ready to tell your spouse of your decision. Today I'm going to give you 7 hints about how to know when you're ready. Number 1, be certain of your decision. Divorce should never, ever be used as a threat or ultimatum. Divorce threats are words that your spouse can never unhear. Have you found clarity about this, or do you still have doubts? If you have doubts, don't say anything. Number 2, it's really unfair to blindside your spouse with the news. Often the anger I see in an early divorce situation is when one spouse never saw it coming. This happens when conflict-avoidant people hide their emotions so that when they announce their desire to divorce, the spouse is flabbergasted. Communicate your unhappiness early and often when it starts, and convey your conviction that your marriage needs help. Ask your partner to work on the marriage with you. Be open to counseling before the problems become a crisis. Problems in marriage don't go away on their own, and you can't sweep them under the rug. This is when you feel like you're living with a roommate. You're both ignoring the elephant in the room. Number 3, don't tell your spouse until you know you've left no stone unturned. You've read books, talked to supportive friends, begged your spouse to go to counseling, or perhaps your spouse has refused because he or she doesn't believe in therapy. You've tried everything you can think of. When you know that you have no other options, it may be time to tell your spouse. Number 4, ask yourself, is there anything my spouse could do to keep me in the marriage? If yes, then perhaps you could invite them to make the change. If no, then you at least know you have few options other than leaving the relationship. Number 5, do not sit on this for months or years. If you're determined to stay married, do what you can to repair your marriage. If an argument 6 years ago was the final straw, do something before your anger poisons you and the relationship. Number 6, clients have often asked me whether to stay together for the sake of the kids. There's different ways to think about this. If there's a lot of conflict and arguing in the house, your kids will be relieved to see that end. If there's abuse, protecting your children is primary. Ask yourself, what message am I sending my children when I'm staying together? If you and your spouse co-parent well under the same roof, then a parenting marriage might be a reasonable solution. In a parenting marriage, you and your spouse agree to stay together despite the absence of romance in your relationship. Perhaps you see yourselves as good friends raising children together. If you both agree and can live together without stress and arguments, it's a viable alternative for some. And finally, this should go without saying, but don't ask your child, do you think we should divorce? Parents worry about how divorce might affect their children, and this is normal. Sometimes they'll test the idea out on a child, usually a teenager or an adult child. But divorce is your decision. Asking your kids' advice puts a burden on them that they should never have to carry. There are some topics where kids get a voice, but not a vote. Where to go on vacation or what movie to watch might be one of those. Divorce is not. And divorce affects adult children in similar ways to younger children. So even if your kids are adult, it's not okay to talk to them about this. I hope this helps. I'm happy to talk to any of you personally or in person. I can be reached at 386-271-8044. You can email me at pam@masterscdc.com. And there's tons of great information on my website at www.masterscdc.com.